Is it not on? There we go. I'm not repeating that. Um, but I thought that our guys really pushed the game. I thought that we were organized. We were the aggressor. We were on top of many moments. We had a lot of good performances. I told the guys afterwards that I think every guy gave a good performance, and it's just one of those games where the bounces don't really go your way. What I think is unexcusable about the penalty in question is that it's not at least looked at by the head referee, right? Like, first, it calls a foul in the other direction, which is strange because we clearly get contact first. But for me, this is like a definition of a penalty. Like when we touch the ball first and then we get clearly kicked as we're pursuing the ball, like that's a foul that prevented him from pursuing the play. And again, you can debate how much of a penalty and everything else, but it is inexcusable that it's not at least looked at by the head official.
Jesse, how do you think your guys handled the moment, the atmosphere, the expectations?
Yeah, look, I think that especially when we got smacked in the mouth in the first minute of the match, there was still stability, and there was, I think, a real belief to still continue to go after the game. And again, I think that the collective tactical understanding and then the commitment to really make it hard on Mexico and play the kind of game that we wanted to play and have good performances, like this was a really good performance. But what you have is a little bit, like I even said something in the press conference before when someone asked if we were a favorite. And I said, there's just this cultural aspect of Mexican football where they kind of know how to go down easy. They know how to draw a yellow card or two. They know how to kind of handle certain moments. I mean, even Alvarez, when he kicks him for the penalty, goes on the ground like grabbing his leg, right? So this is kind of, the things that we're still going to be learning a little bit and the savviness that we need to grow into. But we're on a good path. That's what I told the guys after. I said, we're on a good path, and we're going to keep having belief in ourselves, and we're going to keep pushing the level at which we can play in games.
Hi, Jesse. Good evening. Your thoughts about your next opponent, USA? You'll be playing them for the third place. And why did you choose Dane Sinclair over Maxime Crepeau? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be excited for the U.S. game. Obviously, there's disappointment right now that we're playing in the third place game and not in the final. And then we'll wrap our head around the next 2 days for that match. And then, I thought that Dane is just in the moment, how he's playing with his club, and those performances have meant that he got a little bit of the edge this time, and I thought his performance was also good.
Jesse, like the game in September, there was just one shot on target for Canada. So like over 2 games, it's just 2 shots on target. I think it was Alfonso's free kick.
Yeah.
In terms of that attacking fluency and just kind of creating a few more chances, what are your thoughts on tonight, and what will you look for a little bit more of, perhaps?
Yeah, good. I think a few more times where we can have a little bit understanding of how to slow the game down in the last third and kind of make some final passes that get us in and around the goal, and then we can start to have the kind of movements in the box that can give us more chances, a little bit of a chance to be more creative in some of those moments. And look, Mexico's combative and they defend really well, but you're right. It would have been, we should have been able to create more given the way that we were pushing the game, but we're going to keep developing the ideas around the goal.
Jesse. Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey.
I'm sure Mauricio would say and did say earlier, all things are building up to the World Cup as in the bigger picture. But to the point about disappointment and all that, is this a missed opportunity in your opinion?
A missed opportunity, yes. But I think, look, a lot of these guys have kind of been in this tournament and been close and yet feel like it's far away. Right. So that's the part that I feel like, for me, this is my first time in this tournament. Obviously, I wanted to give the players the chance to achieve their goals. They really wanted to win this. They really want to lift a trophy for the country. They believe strongly in the team that they're becoming. So it was like a knife in the heart to play well, to really do a lot of good things in the game, but then be just fall short of the goal. So that disappointment is hard to shake. It is, and it is a missed opportunity. But again, I think in so many ways, it's still another step where we're continuing to show our quality and our organization and intelligence, and now it's just that little bit of savviness that the best teams have, the best international teams have, and the best players have, that we're going to have to continue to push.
Hey, Jesse. Okay. Yeah. This is a World Cup venue, obviously next year. What did you make of the temporary grass? Obviously, the dimensions were a little tight.
Yeah.
How you felt it worked for this tournament, or didn't work? For
Look, it's a fabulous stadium, right? This was the same in Copa America. I would rather have, and look, I think it's advantageous for our team to play on a bigger pitch because we have a lot of team speed, and more space gives us a chance to find the game more. But I wish that these types of stadiums, given how much they spent on them, had room to be a full size pitch. So that part wasn't ideal. But look, man, I mean, the stadium is hard to complain about. It's magnificent. It's magnificent.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
2 questions. The first one, the way you communicated with the players, the sheet of paper created a lot of buzz on social media. If you can just tell us a little bit about it and that way of maybe communicating a play to your guys. And
Yeah.
the second one was like Javier just mentioned that he decided to use both Santi and Raul up front. Were
Yeah.
you surprised that he decided to play that way?
Yeah. No, we were. I'll start with that. We were expecting to see both Jimenez's, given the form that they're in. And obviously Raul makes a big difference on the day. And we've just tried to create some signals for set pieces so that we have a little bit of clarity and some organization and execution. So we weren't able to quite get the edge in that area today, but we're continuing to develop our ideas of how we want to be effective in set pieces.
Hi, Jesse, over here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what did you think about Ali Ahmed's job pressing as the wide one of the 4 against the team? Sometimes building in a 3, sometimes building in a 4 tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. His tactical intelligence and understanding of against the ball is really good. And then you could see he was slipping by guys and able to use a little bit of his craftiness and shiftiness to find space. Unfortunate because there were a couple times where we had a little bit of room inside the box on that side of the pitch. And if we could have been a little bit cleaner with some of the last actions, then maybe we can create some bigger chances. I mean, this is what I said to the team overall. Like, if we can just be a little bit cleaner in the final third and then turn some of our advantages into real chances and then some of our real chances into goals, then we can start to elevate the overall idea of what the performance was. Because from so many other perspectives, the performance was really strong.
Hey, Jesse. Brendan Dunlop, Canadian Soccer Daily. Both your fullbacks were booked in the first half and it seemed like they were targeted by Mexico. Did you have a thought of maybe taking them off at halftime, and how do you think that they responded after being booked?
Yeah, and then you can Moyes too, right? And so the staff was kind of talking to me about taking them out, and I think part of a maturity process is when you're a defender and you do pick up an early yellow, like Moyes' isn't a yellow. Like I could argue, maybe Alistair's was earned, but part of it is then understanding how to play in good games against really strong opponents and still now not and be aggressive and defend the right way and not pick up the second yellow. And so, I thought that all 3 players did that really well. And we considered making a change, but I think challenging them to still be able to handle themselves in that situation was important, and they delivered.
Hey, Jesse. Gavin Shippen from olemundo.com. You mentioned the passion of the Mexican fans. How do we get Canada and the rest of North America to fill up a stadium like SoFi Stadium within 12 months? I know USA-Canada and the Bell Center hockey game obviously drew big crowds. How do we transition that to soccer?
Well, look, first, I thought it was great. We had we've been one of the things that I noticed from Copa America is that we didn't have a real fan section. Right now, you looked in this stadium, and behind the goal, we had our fans there, and there was a big section of red. And I thought there were, given the situation, a lot of Canadian fans there today, maybe more than American in the first game, right? Really, and so I'm really thankful. You can see that the fans like this team. You can see there's an appreciation for the quality of the players that we have. And so, yeah, we're going to continue to try to create a movement. When we go back home, we're going to try to fill stadiums. We're going to make sure that the people of Canada really get to appreciate who these players are and the qualities they bring. And we're going to keep trying to push the level at which we play the game, which I think is the most important thing. And again, I was, even though we lost today, I was pleased with a lot of things that we did.
Just on the first goal, Jesse, did you see a bunch of bad bounces or did you see a breakdown at all?
Well, it's a throw-in that we could do better maybe to be aggressive on the first action. But yeah, I mean, we actually defend the first play and then it bounces off us and then defend the second one and then it bounces and somehow bounces right to Jimenez behind our back line, standing in front of our goalkeeper, right? So you can't anticipate those kinds of things to happen, but you can control how you react. And imagine if a just penalty gets called, which is what I think it was, and now we can bury it and we get ourselves back in the game at 1-1, and then then all of a sudden it'd be I think a different type of feeling, a different story.
Jesse, just on the second goal, it seemed that the referee kept pushing the wall further and further back. It seemed like a lot further than 10 yards. Is that something that you or the players noticed, and do you think
Yes.
that made a difference?
Yes. So Alistair said to me afterwards that they pushed the wall back and that it was closer to 15 yards than 10, right? So it was too far. And yeah, that can have it gives more room for a player to get the ball over the wall. So I think the ref gave too much space. We could have pushed it more and insisted, but yeah, it was too much.
Thank you.
Okay.